My name is Matt Morig, and I am the founder and executive director of Stillwater. And over the last 25 years, we've seen tremendous growth. I attribute that to the work of the Lord through his people who have a call on their life to see life transform. I've gotten to a point now where campers are now staff, and staff are now donors and ministry partners. Probably one of the most beautiful pictures of the growth of Stillwater over the last 25 years is we've seen our campers now bring their children out to serve.
I was invited to camp by a counselor. So she had been out the summer before. I realized that something was different about her in the weight room and on the bus. And, I was an annoying freshman and she was this really cool senior, and she treated me differently. And I realized that, but I couldn't pinpoint it. And so when she invited me to this camp, I was like, heck yeah, I'm in. Whatever I can do to be like you. I mean, so many people have been affected by the fact that I was invited to camp, said yes to come, and then said yes to Jesus, and how that has changed the rest of my life.
When I first went to camp, I just turned 7. I remember going to camp. I saw the photos. I have Polaroid pictures from my first year at camp. Before I got involved with Stillwater, my life was pretty hectic, honestly. My mom and my dad were kids when they had me, so they didn't have a lot of stuff figured out, so they tend to argue. But I knew at the end of the day, they would come together to love me. And my grandma also was a super huge part of that. She always would bring me into the church growing up. And as much as I was there, I felt like I was so distant until I got to Stillwater.
When he shared everything, and then I went online and saw everything online and read all the other reviews from other people, I was able to say, let him go. The most important thing that I remember about Stillwater is I felt the presence of the Lord when I turned down the street. And as I drove up to the camp, and the workers, the camps, and everybody was there greeting the kids as they came in. And I felt the Spirit of the Lord. And when I drove away, I felt at peace. And I remember, as I drove away, I said, God, have your way with my grandson.
On the camp atmosphere, we pulled up to this camp and we were greeted on the bus. We were greeted with all these people that came up and they were all excited. And I'm like, what? And they got the kids excited and everybody got off the bus. And then they took us to our sleeping quarters. Yeah, sleeping quarters. I did not expect to have these beautiful cabins and for the kids to be comfortable and to have nice, clean restrooms. And the grounds itself was beautiful, green, the air was clean. It was just a beautiful sight. I honestly felt the presence of God. Absolutely. I got off. It was just the feel.
Knot Creek Falls is Stillwater's camp property. We have about 145 acres where the God has provided for us to use as a beautiful place to present the gospel. As one person came to visit said, this is sacred ground, this is holy ground. Because of what takes place here, when kids get to experience Christ, sometimes for the first time, they get to see his glory all around in his creation. And he speaks powerfully through his creation. He speaks powerfully through the love of people who work the camp, who care for people really well, who engage them in meaningful conversations. It's just a beautiful property where we get to see God at work in so many different ways.
We're here at Jack Yates High School. And the impact of this league is much, much bigger than the elementary basketball league. We start here with the elementary basketball league, but we move beyond the court to a place called Stillwater camps. And in Stillwater camps is really the reason why we do all that we do here with the elementary basketball league. Here it's just about sports. Here it's just about training drills to make them better players. But we leave this space and go to the space at Stillwater camps up in the hill country. Kids are able to experience something much, much greater that talks about not how they can bounce a ball or shoot a shot, but how they can live life at a greater level. And so that's what it's all about, teaching leadership principles in a space where it's intimate, serene. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. We're just great to partner with Stillwater to make this thing happen, to impact the lives of young people here in the city of Houston.
For the last few years, I have been a student leader with Stillwater in their Nuevo program with Currington Elementary. Nuevo is a program, but it stands for
Never underestimate your opponent. It was a time at camp where you opened God's Word. We have been a sports camp, and that's how we are founded with a lot of athletes. And so you study the game plan of the opponent, right? You want to know about your game plan to take on your day.
We're helping our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, in this case, understand that they're going to face an opponent that wants to steal, kill, and destroy them.
There was nothing formal back 17 years ago, but a group of girls, we had a leader who was in Kingsville and we were in Corpus, and we met weekly and went over different scriptures and went through many books of the Bible throughout the rest of my high school career. And it's been so cool to see. But now I see it happening, in so many different areas of Texas that Stillwater's in. And I personally know the blessing.
To anyone who is considering supporting Stillwater, I would say that the investment that you make is going to have an eternal impact. No matter if it's $1 or $1 million, you're investing in the lives of people for eternity.
In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 19, it reads that for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And it's one of the key scriptures for Stillwater about really placing and investing your life in the treasure of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Will you prayerfully consider investing in the treasure of bringing kids across the state of Texas to Christ through the ministry and vision of Stillwater?